Everyone is familiar with the famous hotbeds of tourism around the world. Places like Paris, Seoul, Shanghai, and New York are all notorious for their picturesque tourist getaways. However, beyond the concrete jungles lies a place that is not so popular, however, has double the intrinsic value. The country I am discussing is the Republic of Zimbabwe, or colloquially Zimbabwe. Some of you might think I'm joking, mentioning some landlocked country in the middle of Africa, but I assure you I'm 100% serious in my fascination with this country's culture. I would love nothing more than for you guys to be more open and accepting of the native African culture and maybe even consider visiting one day. Ever since I was 14, I held an interest in Zimbabwean culture, and as such, I carried out a profound amount of research. I hold an immense amount of respect for this culture and its people, and that's why I want to make this speech as well-versed and interesting as possible. So, today I want to showcase Zimbabwe's rich culture and all the details that make it so vibrant. To properly showcase Zimbabwe's culture, I'll be focusing on their unique customs, rituals, architecture, and art, along with the history that made these traditions possible. Regarding the history of Zimbabwe, an article written by Britannica cites that Zimbabwe's origins can be traced back thousands of years ago, back to Bantu's speakers and their expansion around 2,000 years ago. The Bantu speakers developed iron-smithing in the region and had a love for the arts, with pottery being found all over the region. As time progressed, different native speakers began inhabiting the area, forming new dialects, such as Shona, which is the current dialects being spoken in Zimbabwe. During the 18th century, people in the region began to form the Kingdom of Zimbabwe. After profitable ventures from Portuguese traders, the capital was named the Great Zimbabwe, and cited by historians as one of the greatest world cultural sites. The development of the region later influenced Zimbabwe's architecture, melding together traditionalist and modernist building styles to create a window to the past. During the pre-colonial era of Zimbabwe, they only had two conventional architecture styles. It bridged the division between housing and nurture and used loose stone walls. And the second style, they used retaining walls made of natural glass, which supported the overall structure of the house as a whole. Both of these architectural styles fell out of use during the early colonization of the British powers. However, after gaining independence from the British, the Zimbabwean people turned to a more post-modernist kind of style, which helped re-establish the connection to the past. Buildings such as the Kingdom Hotels are famous examples of post-modernist infrastructure. The architectural styles of buildings in Zimbabwe is proof of their ever-changing customs in reaction to the period of the colonial rule under the British. The Zimbabwean people have a distinct culture named Shona. It has been around since the Iron Age and influences people's behavior that live in that region. The Shona people have a very strong traditional emphasis. They place traditional gender roles, placing women in a more housekeeping role and men in a more working role. The people living in Zimbabwe hold very spiritual beliefs. Most citizens of Zimbabwe follow a mixture of monotheism and veneration of ancestors, meaning that they honor their gods as a savior, while viewing the dead as a representation of their clan to this god. This means that the faithful are seen as selfless as they practice the perfect life to provide for their family, even in the afterlife. I hope that you all learned something about the beautiful Zimbabwean culture as we discussed their architecture, history, and their customs, and that you're planning your next trip to Zimbabwe.